Hello and welcome to the HGC Gamers Club. My name is Daniel and today's video is a video that apparently I overlooked and did not put up on my channel, which is proper cleaning and maintenance of an Xbox One X. Alright, this particular one is Project Scorpio. It's identical to all of the other systems as far as the Xbox One X is concerned. Don't particularly care for the design of this model. In my opinion, the model 1540s and S or Slim model, same thing. I know a lot of people say, no, it's the S model, or no, it's the Slim model. It's the exact same thing. It means, S means Slim. Anyway, I don't like the design of this model at all. They actually incorporated certain chips that need to be cooled directly into the manufacture of the motherboard so that they cannot be replaced, and because they used the specific type of heatsink that they did, that will choke out with dust very easily and cause the system to run excessively hot very quickly. It leads to them burning out and there's simply no replacing them, so bad thing. This particular box is in for a no video issue. Guy swears up and down it's the HDMI port. In my opinion, it's not. So we'll find out on that. But this video is not on the repair of the system as opposed to actually preventing the need for a repair. Alright, so here we go. Let me get you pointed at the system. Okay. Okay, so we're still going. There we go. Okay, so for this system, let me turn this around so that I can see better. Alright, so for this system, turn it around to the back. You'll see a T10 Torx driver here. And that is security Torx, but a regular Torx will work in it. And then you'll see their little warranty seal of death. When Microsoft and Sony both put that little sticker right here and told you to never do anything other than vacuum off the outside of the system, they literally reduced its lifespan by 75% or more depending on your air quality alone. So I'm going to take that little sticker, we'll just put it right here for giggles. Alright, so normally you're going to use, if you're doing this yourself, which I don't recommend if you can't follow this video all the way through to its end at least once or twice before ever even opening it, because if you can't follow directions, you're going to damage your system or destroy it. Now, putting this thing together is going to be a little harder and more involved than taking it apart, so keep that in mind. Watch the whole video all the way through. Alright, so I removed the little sticker. You need to remove 2 screws. Now, for speed of the video, I am going to use my gun here, and we're just going to remove 2 screws here and here. Alright, so we're going to set them off to the side, right up here, see that? And we're going to take all the screws in order and lay them out. So once them 2 screws are out, this front half will slide forward. Let me turn this around toward you so you can see. Alright, so here's the power button. It's going to slide toward you very easily, and then you're going to lift up on the side with the power button up, and you're going to go and very carefully lift up on this side and tilt this up, and that will allow this part of the box over here to slide out. Now, sometimes it catches a little bit in the back. No big deal, it's just a little manipulation. Don't force it. Alright, this part right here actually goes underneath this circuit board and locks into all of these little pieces here. Okay, so this guy says he keeps really good care of his game system, and kept it clean and everything on the outside, but from what I can see, it's fairly dusty inside. Not the worst I've seen. Okay, so in order to get this system out for proper cleaning, you're going to have to remove the system itself from the lower half of the body. So you're going to be removing all of the long screws, which are going to be here, 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 and here. Alright, so we're going to do that now. It'll be a long screw, about that long. Okay, if you pull out a short screw, just put it back. Okay, so there's going to be a total of 6 of these screws. I'll go through it one more time. Here, here, here. That's 3. Here, here, and here. That's 3. Total of 6. Alright, at that point, you're going to need to remove this section here, which are going to be T8s, and that goes to your USB port. So you don't want to damage that. So you're going to use a T8 security Torx driver and remove them screws. And just to speed things up, I'm going to switch over to a T8 on this here. I'm going to set that there, and we're going to set that there. See how I'm keeping them all in order along the side from what I started with to what I end with. Alright, so once we remove these two, don't just pull that up. Find you something nice and thin and slim, slide right up underneath this and very gently pop it up. This is just like a cell phone connector for a screen or anything like that. Can you see that? Alright, let me get a little bit closer up view. Okay. So you don't want to damage any of these pins or anything. You need to be very careful. Next, you're going to have to remove that little ribbon cable right there. Now the tab is on the top and will come down like that. Okay, so just a fingernail would be fine, or a plastic. You don't want to use metal on it. A plastic spudger or something that'll just pop that forward. Once you get that done, you're going to grab the sides of the system, lift up from the back, slide the whole thing back about an inch, inch and a half-ish, so that you can get access to that. Now we've already popped the ribbon retainer. So we're going to lift this up, and if it don't pop free, you're just going to grab it and slightly tug down. It will come right out. At that point, you're going to be out of the system. So, a fair amount of dust, not a lot. And these boxes are real deceptive as far as that's concerned. So once we get to this point, we have access to the fan area here, and to the back side of the fan and to the heat sink. At this point we can get it all cleaned out without going any further into the system. However, if you want to go further, you're going to need to remove 2 more screws. Now the one, and this is upside down, so the one underneath the disk drive is a short screw, and the one closest to the fan is a longer screw. So I'll let you see what them look like. Little short screw and a little bit longer screw. Not a lot of difference, but you don't want to mix them up because this goes into a power supply and this goes into a housing. Alright, now to open up this, just lift up a little bit, push down on the disk drive so that you're not pulling it up. Once you get it up like that, you'll need to very carefully lift up on this side and work that out like that. There'll be some rubber retainers in here. One of them actually stayed in there. That's okay, and it's perfectly fine. Here's another one. Go ahead and put that back on there like that. Slide them up, Alright, there's one more right there. And that one will be fine, just sitting in there where it's at. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, so we're going to take that and we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to get that cleaned up. And now we have total access to the fan and the heatsink. Now, I'm going to turn this camera over toward the shop door so we can actually see what comes out of this when we blow it. Hopefully, there'll be enough resolution on this 4K to actually see the dust come out. So let's do that. Let's see. All right. Right over here, and hopefully the light from outdoors doesn't turn me all black. Okay, so you'll need an air compressor. If I can get behind the light, you'll need an air compressor with a clean out. Definitely make sure it's not spitting water. Okay, canned air just is not good enough for this. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go through the fan. There's already dust kicking up. Just to get the stuff off of the fan, and you're going to turn it around from the back side where the heatsink is. Coming out. Okay, so it's very important that you do not go any deeper than this, and absolutely under no circumstances should you blow air into the slot of the disk drive. What little teeny bit of dust in some of the nastiest systems I've seen that does manage to get inside these drives is not going to hurt anything. It's going to be on the outside edges due to the airfoil of the centrifugal force of the disk. So if you blast air in there, what little bit of dust that is in there will break free. It'll get sucked straight to the laser if there's any iron content to it whatsoever, and there usually is, and you'll wind up having to replace that laser. If, and after you do wind up doing that, a couple of months later, because all that dust and grime is now in your gears and lubricant, you'll wind up having to replace the whole drive about 4 or 5 months later. So not a good idea. It's best if you just take a Q-tip and clean off the mouth of the drive from time to time. While it's open like this, you can simply use a dry bristle brush, wipe that free, take all of these other stuff, just clean off the dust like that, and put it back together. So this is in for repair, so I'm going to stop this video here, and then I will re-edit it back together, showing it being reassembled. That way you get the full video all in one shot, and I can get the actual repair done, because this is not a repair video. Thank you. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that that work's completed, we can finish putting this back together after the cleanout. Alright, now the work I'm referring to is the actual repair. Alright, so now we need to get this back together. Take the housing and put it back on. Slide that right down in place. You don't want to booger up all of these little foam pads, so give them a little push in. Get that nice and straight on there. And make sure that all sits down nice and flush. You don't want to be putting this stuff anywhere that you can sit on it, step on it, or bend it in any way whatsoever. Now remember, we had 2 screws, one long and one short. Short one will go to the left above the disk drive, and the long one will go to the right, or excuse me, the right above the disk drive and the left above the fan, according to me facing it. And this is the disk drive, this is the fan, just in case you don't know your left from your right. Alright. Now, these do not need to be in super uber tight, just all the way down and flush and snug. This is not a car. It doesn't need to be torqued down. Okay. Once we get that, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Wasn't all that bad. I've seen a lot worse. We're going to set this back down here, turn this back over so that the disk drive is on the bottom and this RF board is on the top. And you're going to take and set it about 1.5 inches back. Hold this side up and then very carefully and gently insert this ribbon cable. Make sure this cable here is out of the way and not buried up underneath there. And you're going to slide that back in, and this is kind of hard to do and be in the video, so hopefully I'm not blocking all of it. You might need to use a pair of tweezers, but you should be able to get it all the way up in there nice and clean like that, and then push that tab back up and over. That'll be back in there. Then you're going to lift the drive, the whole system up, and then slide it forward. You need to align the pins on the disk drive with the pinholes in here, or retainers if you want to call them that. And that needs to in there. So usually what I'll do is I'll lift the whole thing up so that I can see down in here, and then very gently and very carefully manipulate that into place, and it'll slide right in place, and this will be completely up against the plastic. Alright, and now it sits all the way down, and the disk drive is all the way up to this plastic here and actually touching. Okay, now we need to put this on, but you need to be very, 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 very careful. You don't want to damage it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to line up these holes with these holes before you put it down. And then once you get that all nice and lined up, then you're going to put downward pressure. So I need to do this way because I don't want to damage the customer's system. And I'm going to line it up just perfect directly over them holes to where I can see them nice and even and straight, and then gently, very gently press down. It'll go right into place. And then all we need to do is tighten these screws back up. So I need to switch this back over to the smaller Torx. Put this over here. Okay, are we still recording? Yeah, because I dropped my remote. Okay, so I need the smaller Torx here. And then I'm going to put these 2 screws back in. Nice and light, not torqued down or anything. And this is just sliding a little bit. It's about time to get a new head for that. Just going to screw these down. Always turn to the left first, like as if you're going to take them out until you feel a click, and then screw down. Once you get it all the way down and this stops turning, stop. Maybe tiny bit of snugness to it, and that's it. No more than that. You do not want to super tighten these things. Very bad. And then you're going to take your long screws and you're going to insert them like so in all of the right places. And we'll point them out to you one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, again, we are not going to be super tightening these. We're just going to snug them down. Once they stop, and it will snug just slightly, you'll be using a screwdriver. Hopefully you're not using one of these unless you know how to use them. Because although this thing can be as gentle as a butterfly, it could also be as strong as an ox. Alright. There we go. That's all done. Now, we got the ribbon cable here. We checked that. That's good. We got the USB plug plugged in. And the system all cleaned out. And top all cleaned up. Okay. Now, put this back on. You're going to turn this way. You got to go in on this side first. That's the side furthest away from your USB. Slide that up under that Wi-Fi board on this side, and then carefully lay it down. And you will need to do a little bit of manipulating until this side comes down, like so. And then, once it's in place just right, which it ain't yet, okay, 1 second, there we go. Once it's in place just right, it will slide back. You do not want to force this, ever, okay? Once that's in place and it slides back nice and easy and simple, then you reinstall the 2 screws. Alright. Now, you don't want to super tighten these either. You just want to snug them up. All they do is hold this upper housing back so it doesn't fall off. It doesn't need to be torqued down or anything. Okay, so that is clean out of an Xbox One X. This particular one is Project Scorpio. Not a big deal, like I said. It doesn't matter whether it's a Project Scorpio or not. An Xbox One X, I don't care if it's blue, purple, pink, or whatever. It's going to be exactly the same. Okay, that'll about do it for this video. Stay safe, happy gaming, and please don't be telling me that your disk drive don't work after you opened it, because I'm not showing disk drive work, and I totally recommend you stay the heck out of your disk drive, because just because it's not reading disks doesn't mean it has a thing to do with your disk drive, and any video you watch on YouTube is only going to be one possibility out of hundreds. And I guarantee you, if you try to fix something that's not broken, you're going to end in disaster for your whole system, wind up having to replace the whole thing, or spending a whole lot more money paying somebody that actually has education in electronics to fix it for you. Okay? Stay safe, happy gaming, everybody. Bye.